our viewers, we just got cut off with the internet connection. It's not very good here in New Zealand, so we're now doing part two. We're just going to carry on a conversation because we were at a place of discussing the highs in the midst of the lows, and your high was changing your socks.
Woohoo! Yes, that was a high, but the other high was halfway, just because it was so exciting to know that I'd already won half. And then the next high that I got was when I'd hit 55 kilometres, because my friend Katie, she's done a couple of half marathons. I mean, she's done a couple of ultras before, but 50k events. So, and we were together at this point, and I looked at her and I said, we have both run further than we have ever run before. We need to celebrate this right here, right now. And she had her walking poles out, and she looked at me like I was a bit mental, to be fair, as if to go, there's no freaking way I'm celebrating because I haven't got it in me. I'm trying to put one foot, and I'm kind of going, ooh, ooh.
How many K was this in?
55.
55.
So we'd already done 55, and I was actually feeling okay. So, yeah, and then we got separated, and I ran on, and then I just kind of think I went into like some kind of weird brain haze then, and I was constantly just talking to myself. And then I got to, then there was 8.8 Ks to go. That was the last station.
That must have been really hard, wasn't it, that last?
The last 8.8 was so tough. So I wouldn't say that was a high, but I would say you were in this state of, I don't even know how to describe it really. In fact, it was kind of really surreal because the moon was out. I had to put my head torch on because it was getting really dark in the bush. So the moon was almost full. It was so beautiful. The ground was really muddy and slidey, so I was slipping everywhere, and I couldn't see the mud even though I had my head torch on because I still had my cap on. So of course, I had my head torch on, couldn't really see below, and but didn't want to stop to take my cap off because I was so hell bent on getting there. So it was just a really bizarre, and I had no idea how far I'd run. I couldn't quite tell if I'd done a K or if I'd done 2Ks, and I had no idea of time at this point. And my watch had stopped working, the battery had gone on my watch, and there was no way I was scrabbling around in my pocket for my phone. So I had no idea, and then Marshall walked past me and just said hi, and I said hi, and I wanted to ask them how far I had to go, but something stopped me because I just knew I didn't really need to know. And I honestly was talking to myself the whole way. I must have sounded like a right Fruit Loop, but I was like, run when you can, walk when you have to. Run when you can, walk when you have to.
It's amazing. So absolutely amazing, that mindset that you've got in there.
But then the weirdest thing is, I wasn't just kind of hobbling along by this point. I actually really started running.
Yes, because Glenn said at the end you were coming through and he was going to run to meet you and he couldn't keep up with you. He was so fast.
Well, and then this is what about the whole human body and the human spirit. So I knew at the end there's a stile to climb over. Well, somebody had told me the stile wasn't there anymore. And when the stile was there and I had to climb over it and I only had 1 kilometre to run, I was going, somebody said this wasn't even going to be here. Why is it still here? I had this whole conversation with myself in the middle of the wilderness. Eventually got my arse over the stile, climbed over, then I started running. And I was saying to myself, Jo, you've got 1 kilometre to go. Pick your feet up and start running. And I had walking poles by this time, running poles, and I'd had used them to go up a few of the hills, but I just took them both underneath me and I just bloody went for it. I just went for it. And I actually ran and I felt as if I could have carried on running forever. That was this really weird.
I find that really interesting because, you talk about the style. The style could almost be like a symbolic image or a metaphor for, we're going in a straight line on our journey and then this obstacle comes our way. It's an obstacle, isn't it? You've got to get over it. Because I'm thinking about your sister going through her treatment, and I'm sure lots of people listening going through chemotherapy or treatment for sickness and illness, and you might be that you're into session 5 of it and you're feeling okay, and then session 6 you suddenly find it really hard and you feel as though you can't get through it, or you're getting really sick, and how do you push through? These obstacles come into our life, don't they? And then sometimes we get through those obstacles and it gets easier again. But it's what you've just said is a reminder that when you get over that style, that little face at the window, when you get over that style, then you can carry on that journey and path, but not to see that obstacle as something that's going to stop you completely.
Yeah.
The other side of it can possibly get easier.
Absolutely, and sometimes you obviously grow from that obstacle, and great things happen over the other side.
Yeah,
I was able to run. But you're right, and it's the same in life. Sometimes things happen to us on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, whatever it is. Something's thrown at us, and sometimes you go, I've never seen that coming.
Yeah.
And never in a million years did I see that coming. What is the lesson I'm going to learn from this?
Yeah.
And that's what I ask myself about, and that's what helps me get through life in general.
Yeah.
What am I going to learn from this?
But lots of people don't have the strength that you've got. I don't, certainly. But I've been through many obstacles in life and I've learned resilience. And actually, one of the greatest gifts to me was that my parents disciplined me very strongly as a child. So I felt as though I've got self-discipline. And I talk to parents now about the role of discipline and boundaries and structure when your children are little, so that they can learn self-discipline themselves. The role of, if you're parenting, the role of teaching your children self-discipline by putting boundaries into place is really important. So as an adult, we can actually find our own boundaries and say, I don't feel secure, how can I find security again? So in parenting, lots of people want to be best friends with their children and have a great relationship, but then the boundaries aren't there and the children aren't secure. And when there's no boundaries in parenting, then that insecurity doesn't enable you to find your own inner strength later on and be as strong as you are. You've definitely got self-discipline.
Yeah, no, I've got huge self-discipline and I've got huge strength, but again, it's not something, well, I say we're born with resilience and stuff. I have built up my strength over time. I've built up strength over time by, I say, the hideous things I've been through in life and conquering them. And when you do conquer something, you think, frick, I can do anything. I think also it's maybe coming of age and knowing yourself really well.
Have you come of age?
I have come of age. I've blossomed.
Have you?
I don't know, really. I'm just talking shit. But
I have to say you're blossoming. I don't know about coming of age, but you're certainly blossoming.
I'll never be mature. But I don't know. I think it's just knowing yourself, and but then you can't compare your strength to somebody else. You just said something then like, I don't have the same strength as you, Joe. Yeah, I look at you and I think you're one of the strongest people I know. So
I guess it's different strengths in different areas, or it's how we perceive ourselves actually at the end of the day, isn't it? And I look back now and I think about, a court case that we haven't spoken about in the podcast that I survived. That was a year long, 15 high court hearings, losing 3 children and losing a baby, but fighting to get her back at birth was one of the hardest things I could have ever gone through on my own. But yet, although I wouldn't want to live through it again, I am grateful for it now because I am such a different person and I can do so many things now that I couldn't have done before. So when I'm working with teenagers that are struggling with suicidal ideation, I look at them and know this will be the making of them if they can push through it. It's actually a gift in many ways to suffer and to go through pain. But when you're a teenager and you're going through it yourself, or whatever age you are and you're struggling, you can't actually, when you're in it, see the benefits of it.
No, of course you can't. Not especially at that age, because they haven't had all that huge life experience. Whereas perhaps if we were going through something bad now, that we do look for the lessons and we do understand that there is kind of a higher being and a reason why we're going through stuff, and we do know there's a light on the other side. Whereas teenagers don't yet have that knowledge, and that's why we do the work we do, isn't it? To try and help them through that.
Which is so exciting. So my big question for you, are you going to do another one?
Yes.
Have you booked it already?
No, but I'm thinking of entering for the 100-kilometre one next time.
Well, I said to Joe earlier, I thought an ultra marathon was 74k, and then I realised it was 100k, and I said to Joe, to be honest, I was a bit disappointed. I'm working with somebody, my business partner can't do the whole thing. She opted out of 74. A bit disappointed, to be honest. So I'm glad to hear you're going to do the 100. I might do 29k.
You can come and enter the 50k. Now you can do 27. If you can run 27, you can run 50.
Can you?
Totally.
Well, I'll try another 27 at the weekend, I think.
You do know it's the opened half marathon this weekend. Thing is, that.
I didn't say how long it took me to do the 27.
3 days later.
Well, somebody's just run the under 2 hour marathon, haven't they?
Yeah.
Incredible. Did you see the time when he finished? It was 1 hour 59 and it was
40 seconds.
Yeah, amazing. The elation of doing that. It just shows anything is possible. Anything is possible.
That's what we just said before.
And didn't he say it was 63 years since it had been broken? The time it had been broken or something?
I don't know, it's crazy. Why is the camera just on me?
Because you're the star of the show.
No, I'm not.
You are.
Okay,
you are today. For the rest of the time, I will be. It's all about you.
Yeah. Do you know, like when we first started doing this podcast, Sue would call it Pods with Posh and Sue. That's Sue and Sue. And I'd be like, What about me?
I actually also got a website designer in, and I told him the name was Pos with Posh and Sue, and he did it. He registered the name. But that was a complete accident. It wasn't. I didn't mean to do that.
And I just went, it's fine. I don't care. It's a good job I haven't got an ego, isn't it?
And the first podcast interview we did, I said, "Jo, welcome.
Thanks for joining me."
Thanks for joining. Whereas today it's all about you.
Lovely little halo.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So, it was good. It was great. Great experience.
So is the message to our listeners to go and do a run? It's not really, is it?
Go and do
It's
whatever
to
the
go
heck you
and
like. To be honest with you. Believe you can do
You can
anything.
do anything you set your mind to. And if it seems impossible, then set that as a target you're going to work towards. You don't need to achieve the impossible straight away, but you can work towards it.
Totally. Like, I mean,
Have goals.
years ago, I would never have even dreamed of doing a marathon. I couldn't even run to the end of the road. Literally couldn't even run to the end of the road. And it's amazing what you can achieve. I just think, yeah, go for it. Go for it.
What would you say to somebody, because we've had some podcasts on narcissism and abusive relationships and trauma, what would you say to somebody that's in an abusive relationship right now? It's not that you need to stick it out, is it?
Yeah, but you need to find yourself. You need to have faith in yourself and find who you are, and start to love you and know that you're worthy, and you're worthy of way more than what you're currently
So still,
getting.
whatever situation you're in, have a goal, which is that even though I'm not being treated as I deserve or I'm being abused, I'm going to find something for me within the relationship, or a way to get out, or I'm going to better myself, or go and get counselling or something. Whatever situation you're in, look to something in the future. Don't look at the obstacles, the styles, but to look at the distance and have a goal to work towards, and put a strategy into place to say, in a year, this is where I want to be, or in 6 months, this is what I want to be.
Yeah, I think it doesn't even matter about whether you're in a bad relationship or whatever. I think people just sometimes accept the status quo. They accept where they are. They think that's what they deserve.
Yeah.
Well, all I can say to everybody is, you deserve what you think you deserve.
Yeah. And you'll achieve what you think you can
absolutely.
achieve.
And what's that beautiful quote by Henry Ford? Is that, if you believe you can, you can. If you believe either if you believe you can or if you believe you can't, either way you're right.
Yeah.
He says it way more eloquently than that, I'm sure. But you know what I mean? It's either having that true belief in yourself, and we are capable of so much more than what we give ourselves credit for on every level, emotionally, psychologically, physically.
So if it's trauma that you carry from childhood, to find a way to seek help to unravel that trauma, to become a whole healthy person where you can be free of that.
Yeah.
If it's an abusive relationship, to find a way out. If it's through sickness, to find a way
through.
To journey on that path through the styles, the highs and the low. Being gratitude, I guess, isn't it? I mean, on your run, there must have been so many things you were grateful for. I mean, the scenery must have been absolutely amazing, was it?
The scenery was breathtaking when I looked up from my feet, when I wasn't too busy worrying about tripping over tree stumps and things like that. I remember I just got to this one point with Katie, another high, I must admit. We came out, we were running, and we just looked up, and the whole lake was there, and it looked absolutely majestic. It was so beautiful. It was so still, and there was kind of a bit of a mist above it, which was kind of rolling, and oh my goodness, it was sparkling. It was just the right light at night. It was just perfect. It just couldn't have been any more perfect. And at that moment, I just went, oh, we live in the most amazing place.
And isn't that another lesson, that in the midst of whatever you're going through, what we view with our eyes is also alters how we feel about the situation. We choose what we see in the situation. So we can choose, and I think we've talked about this before, that in the midst of darkness, we can still choose to find things we're grateful for in that moment. So whether it's a run, whether it's trauma, whether it's whatever it is, we can choose to be grateful, and therefore change our mindset away from the hardships and the pain and the struggle and the negative thinking patterns, which are so easy to form, aren't they?
Totally. And
come into the positive, and to speak of the joy and the elation, or to find the elation by even being grateful.
But Katie, her mantra as we walk around, I'm lucky to be able to do this, I'm lucky to be able to do this. And probably lucky, and she meant that in a multitude of ways. Lucky to have a health and fitness to be able to do it, lucky that we live in this country, lucky that the event is even on, lucky that Lake Taupo is there and its beauty and all its glory. It just covered such a big array of things, but I'm lucky to be able to do this. That's what she was saying to herself, as I was like one foot in front of the other. And then when I did have a really dark moment, I just thought of my sister. And I mean, she was, and we wrote to each other the other day. And for those of you who don't know, we've done a podcast with my sister. She's just currently battling cancer. And I just said, and she said, you know, you're amazing, well done. And I just said, you were with me every step of the way.
I
And
bet she was.
And
I
just
bet
carried
she
her
was.
with
I was
me.
thinking
She
that
was
actually
there.
on Saturday that she'd be with you running, and
Just
so
every
proud
step
of
of the
you, as I know you are of her and her journey.
Yeah,
Incredible.
so it was really lovely. And so whenever it got really dark, I just said, I'm doing this for you, Jill.
Yeah, amazing, really amazing. Congratulations on that note. So proud of you. When is the next one?
I don't know yet.
Don't
I'll
know.
keep you informed.
That's great.
Yes. Okay.
Lovely
Thank you.
to connect with you all.
See you soon.
Bye.
That was quite cool.